Hey everyone, welcome back to Beyond the Showroom Podcast. I am Mike Davenport and I am joined by my lovely wife, Andy.
Hi everyone.
How's your day been?
It's good.
Good. Glad to hear that. Excited for tonight?
Sure.
Good. Sure. You sound very positive. Let me tell you, you sound very positive.
I'm trying to keep it upbeat. And you know me, this is my positivity and sarcasm.
Sarcasm? You have sarcasm? I didn't know you had sarcasm. I've been married for 20... How long have we been married?
It's been 20 years.
Yeah, 20 years. We just
I'll be
celebrated
21 in June.
For 26. So we do our live stream every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern time here on YouTube. And then every Wednesday morning, you can get the replay in audio version at 6 a.m. on your favorite podcasting platform. So just search Beyond the Showroom. And since this is a new podcast, it's slow getting up on it. So right now I know it's on Spotify and it's on Anchor. I'm seeing analytics from... What was the other one? I can't remember. I texted my podcast guy and told him, like, hey, we got analytics here, but I can't find it on this Coaster or Caster or something. I don't know all these podcast names.
I have no clue.
So,
like I said, I think I said it last week or whatever, I just get on my iPhone and hit the little podcast app.
Yeah,
and find podcasts that way.
Yeah, and the Apple is really difficult. They say they can take anywhere from 30 minutes to 3 weeks. So
I haven't even.
We'll see that. Not on there yet. I'll get an email. So I'm really, really excited about today's episode. We're going to talk about how many things, we're going to talk about things in relation to pricing on cars. And that's like the number one biggest thing with buying a car is negotiating, getting the best price, right? So, and the one thing that probably takes away from the atmosphere of car buying is knowing that you get a good price. So if you got questions in regards to pricing, you can text in your questions to the 502-909-5192 number. And you can text those in at any time. And Miss Adrienne, Miss Dudette, as some people call her, Miss Chevy Dude, as she likes to be called, Andy.
I thought we were keeping my real name off the podcast. Did
I say your real name?
Yes, you did.
Oh, I didn't mean to. Oh, well.
You know, I don't.
It's not like we're trying to keep it a secret. Just, you know.
No, it's.
We have a reason. we don't want people saying, yo, Adrian.
Exactly. I am not a fan of Rocky.
So if you want to get your question answered, I guarantee you that we'll answer your question because we get a lot of them. We get hundreds and hundreds of texts. But if you use the super chat feature here on YouTube, you'll get it answered 100% regardless of what the topic is. But we do want to stay on topic. And we do need to pay the bills. We got some bills to pay here. This equipment that you see or listening to is expensive, and I had a good sponsor for this week, and that is Raid Shadow Legends. So if you check the description of this podcast and on this live stream, you're going to see some links for this awesome RPG game. It's fun. I play it. You can join my clan, and if you're a new member, you get 200,000 silver and 1 free champion. So download that after the show. Here's what we're going to talk about on the podcasting tonight and the live stream. We're going to talk about pricing new cars for new and used. Exactly. We're going to pricing cars for new and used, how dealerships do it. We're going to talk about negotiating techniques when you're car shopping. We're going to talk about the tools you can use to get the best deal. And we're going to talk about the proper time to bring up pricing concerns with the dealership. And then how willing car dealers are to negotiate here in 2020. What do you think? What do you think about that?
Oh, I'm sorry. I just saw that somebody said they were canceling their C8 and clicking off the video because I don't like Rocky. That distracted me from your question. What was your question?
I said, what do you think about pricing and negotiating car deals? What do you think? You hear it sometimes since you're in the business.
Yeah, I have it pretty easy. I mean, I just turn to my salesman and tell me buy this car.
You have a really bad salesman though, don't you?
Yes.
I mean, horrible salesperson.
Yes, he is, but he pays the bills and buys me the cars.
That's not a salesman. That's a sugar daddy.
Oh, well, then I need another sugar daddy and a salesman.
Oh, okay.
Can you refer me to a good salesman?
Yeah, text that in to 502-909-5192.
Well, that goes to me.
Yeah. You need a sugar daddy, right?
But I'm not a sugar daddy.
Oh.
And I'm not a salesman.
Oh. Well, I'm screwing everything all up.
Exactly.
So I'm really excited about this because this is a really good topic that I get asked questions on all of the time. I think the biggest one is, how do dealers come up with pricing new and used cars? Is it just out of the air? Do they want to make a certain amount of profit? What is it for? Do you know how they do it?
Well, I know they check the market.
They do. Do you know how they check the market?
It's a program.
It's a program. Good. We're going to talk a little bit more about that program.
I know the name of the program too.
Oh, what is it?
vAuto.
Oh, yeah, you got it. There's several programs out there. vAuto is probably the most prominent one inside the car business. I don't know the other names, but that's definitely the one that a lot of dealerships use because really they were first. And I don't think it's real expensive to use these programs, but it does cost some money. And inside this program, they've done a really good job to make sure that dealerships really utilize it. You can pull Carfaxes in there. You can integrate Carfax in there. You can integrate your auction websites in there, all that stuff. Because when like our dealership is buying cars at auction, we can see what the values of those cars are right then and there. And there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes that I don't see or do or whatnot because I don't do that part of it. But I understand it enough. I sell enough cars. I talk to the managers. I know what we're doing. But so pricing new and used cars is definitely a technique and definitely something that is extremely important to the dealership. So why it's important to the dealership is because you could be anywhere in the world dressed however you like. I love to say this to people when I have them on the showroom floor. I'm talking to them on the phone or text or whatever, is you could be naked at 2:00 in the morning shopping for a car in your bedroom and seeing if it's a good price or not and decide, hey, I like this car, I'm going to move on. Or I don't like this car, I'm going to move on to the next one. Or I like this car, I'm going to interact with this dealership. So, if it's sending in a link or a lead or texting them or texting an overnight thing, or if it's 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock in the morning, talking to somebody live, whatever the case may be, making a phone call, all that good stuff. It's amazing that we have that technology nowadays because we've never had that before. How long have we had this around? Do you know?
How long have we had what around?
Like the technology of like texting dealers or chatting with dealers from their websites.
Gosh. I would say it's become more predominant in recent years, but it's probably been around for a good 8 to 10 years.
You're pretty dead on. So I like to use the 08 through 2010 economy crash that we came out of that, and a whole lot of things happened. So before 2008, if you were to walk into a dealership and say, hey, would you buy my car for cash, they would look at you and say, you're crazy, right? It was something that dealerships never would do. Even though they bought cars on a daily basis, they wouldn't buy a consumer's car off the lot or off the street. So what we call street purchase. So I don't know why. I just don't know why, but it just seemed as something happened after 2008. And we learned a lot from 2008 through 2010. That we basically straightened our act up in the car business and started going, doing more things. So, but that was a huge turn in social media in 2010. You got to realize that YouTube in 2010 was only 5 years old. They're getting ready to turn 15 years old this year. YouTube is what we're on right now. And podcasting, I don't know how long podcasting's been around. Do you?
No.
I mean, we don't even really listen to podcasts much. So.
No, I haven't really gotten into it because when the time I'm listening to anything is when I'm working out, and I need that upbeat music and not just somebody talking in my ear.
Yeah, I'm same way. So I'm like that a lot when I come home. I'd rather have some upbeat music rather than someone talking in my ear.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that why you play Fortnite and ignore me with headphones on?
So we have these pricing tools, and these pricing tools tell us a lot. They tell us so much, and I say we as in car dealerships, the automotive industry, because we know that you could be anywhere, anytime. You could anywhere, and you imagine anywhere. Where did I buy our Tesla at?
Oh well, you were on a plane,
right? And how did we buy it through? What communication were we using?
You were messaging
through Snapchat, right?
Oh, you and I were Snapchatting,
yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I was 40,000 feet in the air, and I get this Snapchat about this Tesla that, hey, look what you guys just took in on trade. I want it. okay, tell me about it. What's the deal? And then I text
Why did I have to tell you anything about it?
I don't know.
It was just like,
you just had to tell me to buy it, right?
Exactly.
So then I text the general manager at that store, because this was at our Subaru store. And I text him and I say, hey, listen, I want to buy that Tesla. I did this at 40,000 feet in the air on a phone. Was it 2018? Is that when we did about
2
that?
years ago.
Yeah, 2018, 2017.
Something like that.
Yeah. So that's just amazing technology that we have that. Well, we have that going out to the consumers as well to make it easy for everybody. And I mentioned the V Auto, and I had a couple examples here that I pulled from work, and I want to show you this on the screen. This is an Audi TT that we have in stock, and this is the back end tool of this 2016 Audi TT that we have in stock. So over on the right hand side, and for the people that are listening to this, I'll just kind of try to visualize this with you. But over on the right hand side, we have the market average odometer of 25,618, and then over in the top left hand corner, you can see our odometer is 49,950. I know this car, it's actually got 50,000, like 12 miles on it now, because we've had a couple test drives. And you can see our list price there of 24,610. So if you look more over to the right for the people that are watching this on YouTube, you can see distance says all. This means that we are searching the entire country for this car. This is a rare car, not a rare car, but just not a popular car out there. It's not a huge amount of them out there. And down here, you see that little speedometer for the people on the live stream, and we're at 89%. So you can see it goes all the way up to 120%. And then over on the right hand side, you see ranking. It says price rank, V rank. So price rank, we're down there about 2, number 1. I think we're number 2 there. And then V rank, we're number 3 on. And what this does is tell us where we rank, in this case, in the country for this pricing of this car. And the 89% of the market adjustment, this is how I like to explain it to new people. So 89% means if everyone is selling a candy bar for $1, we're selling that same candy bar for 89 cents. So we're 21% below the average market on this car. But we've got some issues with this car. We're higher mileage than the average mileage out there.
You also have a little man math going on there.
What would I say?
You said 21%, it's 11%.
Oh, 11%. Yeah.
A little man math going on.
It's not man math. It's
yes, it
public,
is.
It's public school math. Yeah.
It's men have a problem with math.
So I mean, we're selling this 89%. So, of the market. So we're number 2 price in the country. So if you were to call us and say, hey, listen, I want $3,000 off the price of the car, I'm going to tell you no, because I already know, right? Especially if you're calling from Florida or California or wherever, if you're calling from a lot farther away. So that's just kind of one example on it. So I wanted to kind of show something more with what I'm showing. So I'm going to pull up this 2017 Chevy Traverse 2LT, and same kind of stuff here. You can see we're sitting right at 100% of the market, right there at the 6 o'clock position on it. We're right at 99% of the market, and we're 100 miles out. 35,000 miles, the average market odometer is 39,000, so we're kind of dead on. So there's a lot of cars out there like this. It looks like there's 180 Traverse out there for 2017, and then over on that far left-hand corner, you can kind of see that we're dropping this down. Okay, well, we want to engage this with a 2LT car, because this is a 2LT car. It's not fair to say, hey, I want this the LTZ, which is the higher trim level. It's not fair to do a 1LT or a LS, because that is a lower trim level. So we want to gauge what the pricing is on that. So, and then maybe a couple other minor things. We don't want to get like really heavy into to that, because you can manipulate that really, really well, and you can really get some crazy things going if you were to see that. And you want to do yourself justice when you're selling these cars. You don't want to manipulate it stuff so that way it's really high or really low. You want to have less options in there. You don't want to start putting, hey, I've got a DVD player, I've got this, I got that. And then you start looking at vehicles that don't have DVD players. So there's only 5 out there with DVDs. That's not a good thing to start doing. You want to kind of just like, hey, listen, I got a 2017, I have a 2LT. Let's just look at that, because that's really about what we're looking at. And I always tell everybody there's kind of like 5 things, maybe 6 things that you look at home looking at a used car. And that would be the year, the make, the model, the color, the mileage, and then the price. So with that being said, Miss Chevy Dude, yo, Adrian, what is the number one question asked by consumers when they call the dealership?
Hey, I have this one because you've asked me this before.
Yes, I have. I was testing you.
Oh, is that what you're doing?
I am testing you. Yes.
You're asking for it tonight. The question asked when calling into a dealership or texting, is the car available?
Yay, that you're absolutely right. So the reason that is because you at home can look at all sorts of third-party software to judge if this is a good deal or not. Car Gurus is the number one, I think, company out there. What do you think? Any opinions? I know you're not on that stuff.
Cars.com, I think, is what I tend to go to if I'm looking up something. Yep. Auto Trader. Mm-hmm.
So Cars.com is owned by the number one conglomerate in the world for cars. They're owned by Cox Automotive, and Cox Automotive owns the number one, what do you call that? Auction? I'm drawing a blank. The number one auction house in the world, Manheim. They own Kelley Blue Book. I used to work for a company called Kelley, and they always assumed my Kelley owned Kelley Blue Book, and we were making the numbers up to benefit us, which was always hilarious back in the day. So yeah, you can do these. You can sit there and look at all this stuff and decide that, hey, I want to look at Car Gurus. I want to look at Kelley Blue Book. I want to look at, Auto Trader, True Car, all that stuff, and decide that if I'm going to go further on this. And one step further is Car Gurus will tell you, and pretty much everybody nowadays will tell you that if it's a good price or a bad price. And if you go to Car Gurus, it tells you right away. And some dealers will put on there that their Car Gurus price is good or bad or whatever. That way you don't have to go out to a third-party website and you're just using their website. So that's kind of important as well.
I was going to say, I do like the fair deal, good deal, bad deal type of thing. I don't remember which website does it because I've looked at so many when I'm searching for a car for me.
You're searching for cars?
Of course. And not on your lot.
So, but yeah, so it's kind of nice to have that gauge because I would have to say that most consumers just want a fair deal. They want to be treated fairly, right? You can say on the comments on the live stream, you can say, do you just want to be treated fairly and professionally when buying a car?
Yes, but at the same time, people want to feel that they got a good deal and not ripped off. Right. So those kind of go hand in hand, if they feel that they were treated properly and everything, they may feel that they've gotten a great deal. But if you feel like you got treated poorly, then, you're going to not feel so good.
Right. So you brought up something. I like this. I like this.
What did I bring up?
You brought up you want to feel like you get a good deal. How do you know you get a good deal? What's the definition of good deal? you know where I'm going with this,
I know
right?
where you're going,
okay.
And I know what your spiel is, but I don't remember how you put the word or,
No, you can, if you know the answer, say the answer.
No, because I don't remember the wording.
What do you think it is?
The wording you use.
Let's hear what you say.
No, I'm not even going there.
I put you on the blank. So yeah, a good deal, a great deal. I got the best deal. That's emotional, right? And there's no definition for good deal in the dictionary. Google good deal, right? It's conjecture. It doesn't tell you anything. It's not in the dictionary. It's not anything out there. It's a feeling. It's now I'm drawing a blank. I said emotion,
but yourself on the spot.
It's perceived value. Right. So one thing that we're taught in the car business is to exceed the perceived value of the vehicle with the customer, and they'll buy every time. So if I show you everything about this car and your value expectations are right here, and I show you everything and you're like, oh, I didn't know this, I didn't know that, blah, 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 blah. And now your exceed value has exceeded the price of this car based off of our interactions. It's an easy transaction. It's an easy transition into a buyer of that car. So it's really, really important to understand everything from sales and from a consumer side point. So when people are talking about don't ever answer questions from a salesperson, you can answer the questions, but you got to understand that to make sure you're dealing with a salesperson who's got your best interest in mind. If they don't have their best interest in mind, yeah, definitely don't answer those questions. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of interesting when people are like, hey, I just want a good deal. It's not, it's made up. It's a made up term. It doesn't exist. But in reality, okay, let's talk about reality here about what we perceive a good deal is. You just want to be treated fairly. You want to be able to build that relationship with that dealership. You want to be able to go out there and talk with somebody and have somebody's back. I just had a conversation with a customer today. Our new truck manager, Bill, was talking to somebody about a C7, and he had a problem with the C7. And I said, listen, I don't want to contradict anything that he said, but I'm sure you don't want to go through this process of a limit law buyback. Let's figure this out. You do whatever you want. It's your car. But we don't have any 2019 cars to give you. So if you do a limit law buyback, you're going to be walking, right? Not really going to be walking, but he's not going to have a Corvette to drive. I said, how long have you had this car? I know the customer, right? I don't know him, but I recognize him, right? Super nice guy, comes in every once in a while, jokes around, talks, stuff like that. And, so I'm sitting there talking to him. He says, yeah, I don't want to deal with that. So I'm like, listen, you need to go through the process of service just a little bit more. And that's the relationship that you really want to have with customers, is when a problem happens, that they can trust you when you're not selling them something. And you know me, I'll always tell somebody, you don't want to buy that. You don't want to go through that, right? That's just the way I am. There's not very many salespeople out there like that, but that's the way I am.
Okay. Are we going to get to a few questions?
We can do a question.
Okay. Well, most of our questions are not topic related coming in. And
topic related
I
question,
am
guys.
not going to respond to them or ask them on.
Unless it's a super chat.
Well, yeah. And those type of questions might have to be super chats.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so at the beginning, somebody put in the comments, how much should you negotiate the price down on a vehicle?
It all depends, right? So we're going to actually talk about that next. That was the next.
Well, then
out of the 5 things.
Go ahead.
So negotiating techniques when shopping for a car. So you want to do your research, right? And it's tough. You can't get into, and many car dealers will do this. You can't get into like minor details, right? The minor details don't always go into selling a car or buying a car. If like, hey, this dealer down the street has got the same car, and the dealership's going to be like, has it got the same miles? Has it got this? And the next thing you know, you guys are just battling back and forth. It's not a professional experience. It's not a positive negotiating experience. So, negotiating techniques need to come with some credence, with some value, with some, hey, listen, you guys have had this car for 10 days. Can you help me out just a little bit? You guys are at a fair deal. What would it take for me to be on Car Gurus at a good deal? Would $500 work? Would $1,000 work? Stuff like that. And so that's the time to do it. And one of my things I wanted to talk about was bringing it up the proper time to bring those concerns up, pricing concerns. If the car you think's priced too high, if you want to talk about how the price is too low, I'll be more than happy to take those customers. Oh, Mike, your car's $1,000 too low. I want to pay you $1,000 more. Perfect. Thanks. We'll take it.
It never happens.
Never happened. Hasn't happened in 20 years. I never heard 2 things. Your price is too low and you gave me way too much money for my trade.
That's a whole nother topic, babe.
Yep. So yeah, the proper time to bring up the purchase price of the trade to negotiate is literally wait till they get all the numbers around for you. Don't bring it up too early. My analogy, I love using this analogy, which I've had to clean the analogy up for broadcast because I used a different analogy before I decided to talk about it on air. But if you see this beautiful person that you're attracted to anywhere in the world, in a bar, at a basketball game, football game, you walk them by the street and you turn around and you want to approach them. You don't walk up to them and say, hey, I'm Mike. You want to get married?
No, you ask for their phone number and get denied.
Yes, I know. And that's the salesman in me. I asked multiple times until I got it.
Yeah.
So when I met her, we met the second week of high school in 1992, and some friends introduced us, and they're like, yo, get her phone number. And I asked her for her phone number, and she told me no. And I'm like, oh, man, I was let down. I was a bummer. You know, I just met this girl. And so I told the friends, and they're like, you didn't have a pen and a paper. You know, it's like, so I run to the concession stand. We're at a football game, and run to the concession stand. Like, listen, I need to borrow a pen and a piece of paper. And they're like, no, we're not going to give it to you. I'm like, no, seriously, I'll bring it back. I promise. Here's my name. Here's my student ID. So I walked back and I got my pen and paper, and I'm like, what's your phone number? And she gave it to me, and here we are 26 later.
Only because those same friends were pressuring me to give you my phone number.
I know. It's great. Buyers helpers, right?
I guess. Little did we know that
3 kids, 26 years.
We'd still be together.
You still don't have a job.
Hey.
That pays.
You're my sugar daddy. Oh, wait, I still need one of those.
Yeah, I need a sugar mama.
No.
No, I can't have a sugar mama?
No.
Oh, man, this is no fun. So, you know, bring up the pricing of the car once you see all the numbers. That way, if you got a trade in or whatever and whatnot, that you just see everything in print and writing. You guys know that, you know, I've talked about the worksheets and stuff like that, and I'll put it in the comment section of the podcast and on the live stream here. I'll put that down in the description after the show here on the live stream. But I have these worksheets that you can use to utilize to make sure that you get everything done right, and the dealership shows you everything right. That way, if they bring a Foursquare out, you can be like, wrong. This is what I need. I need price. I need list price. I need discounts. I need rebates. I need trade value. Oh, by the way, would you write me a check for that if I don't trade it here? You know, if I don't buy a car from you, would you write me a check? You know, it's all that stuff. So, but you want to make sure you get all the pricing before you start negotiating, because if you start negotiating the bottom line, which is what you always need to do, you never negotiate payment, you always negotiate bottom line. You go out there and get all the facts, and then you can negotiate effectively, and it's going to allow you to get the best deal, right? Here we are, our best deal, our good deals scenario to do that. So one of the things I wanted to talk about was tools you can use to get the best deals. And I kind of mentioned Car Guru. Does anybody got any questions on pricing that you've got that we can hit on those 3 subjects that we've talked about?
Well, we've had somebody ask about trading in a lease vehicle if you still get a tax credit. And I don't know if that pertains to every state. I know in Kentucky, they do sales tax credit on vehicles traded in.
Nope. So it's a good question, and I'm glad.
I wasn't specifically talking lease.
I'm just saying. Start backpedaling.
No, I'm just saying that was a question, but I'm saying not every state is going to offer tax credits, etc.
When she's wrong, she blames me.
Yeah.
So yeah. So if you have a lease, typically speaking, for the most of the states that I know, you do not get any type of tax credit on a lease because you didn't pay sales tax on your lease. You only paid tax on the payment, which is a big advantage for leasing. So with that being said, if you trade that in, you're not going to get any tax credit. You got to pay full tax on whatever you're paid tax on in your state. Kentucky, you pay sales tax after rebates. Indiana, you pay sales tax before rebates. So every state's different. And with that being said, most of the time you can't really trade a lease in because it's not advantageous to you. I just had this conversation with a gentleman down in Florida over the last couple of days. Super, super nice guy. He's got a Jeep Grand Cherokee Overland Edition. He's trying to buy a Silverado, and he called me up and we were talking, and we're looking about $24,000, $25,000 what his trade was worth, but his payoff was like $27,000. Oh no, his payoff was if he bought it was all the way 27 with sales tax. So it's like, well, there's no reason to do that. I mean, you're going in the hole for something you don't have obligations to. You have options for. So with that being said, you can just walk away from it. Well, he thinks he can sell it for $29,000. So after sales tax, he's less than $27,000. So he can probably make $2,000 on this vehicle. And that's when it's very rare for that to happen. So a lot of times when you want to trade in a lease, your lease is going to have negative equity. So you just walk away from it. So when you do a lease, you have a lot of options, but the only obligations that you have with a lease is to take care of the car, to keep it in, normal wear and tear usage, and make every single payment. That's your obligation on a lease. If you do a 36-month lease, you are obligated to pay 36 payments. If you do 24, you do 24. Where on a purchase, you're obligated to pay the entire loan off. If you borrow $30,000, you have to pay $30,000 back to the bank. It's no questions asked. So that's the advantage of leasing. But yeah, so typically speaking, leasing is not going to get you a tax credit if you trade it in. You can trade it in, so that way if you went over a mileage or something like that you could get out of it and kind of convert it to a purchase and trade it in or whatever. It all happens on one fell swoop. It's not anything that you have to worry about.
Okay. I don't even remember what 3 topics now you were.
We've went over pricing, how people price new and used cars, negotiating techniques, proper time to bring up pricing concerns, and kind of touched on a little bit about the tools you can use to get the best deal.
Okay. So, let's see. There's so many different questions, and not really any of them pertain to exactly that stuff. So I'm just going to start asking questions. Tips on trading in an upside down vehicle.
Just depends on how upside down. So I got a gentleman who's got $3,000 upside down in a vehicle. And every time you trade in an upside down car, you're just burying yourself. That's a huge term in the industry. You're burying yourself in your new vehicle. So
the second part to that question, does the new factory rebates help bury that negative equity?
Yes and no. So with that, you're still enrolling negative equity over and you're buying a depreciating asset. So the old adage is you pull off the lot, you lose X amount of percent. I don't know what that percent is, 20%, 10%, whatever. It's not because of what the dealers have done. It's strictly because you're buying a depreciating asset. And when you take delivery of that car and you title the car, you're taking the advantage away from a new car buyer. Full warranty, all that good stuff. No miles on the car, stuff like that. So with that being said, that's why the cars depreciate. Then you go out to the used car market, and the person selling that car, if it's a private individual, if it's a dealer, whoever, they have to market that against the new cars if you want to get rid of it in 6 months, a year, or whatever, because then you're so close to the value of a new car. It's like, well, I'll just go to a new car rather than buying a used car, that somebody else got rid of for whatever reason. And so that's kind of the thing. What was the first part of that question? I forgot.
Just tips on negotiating and upside down.
Yeah, I gotcha. So with tips on negotiating, I mean, it's not really anybody's fault on what the vehicle is, because it's all about the market. And so that's on that. But if you're trading stuff in, you just got to realize it. But if you're trading it in, the more money you can put down, the better it is. So Michael King just threw in a super chat. If I'm looking to buy a car later this year, fourth quarter, when should I start talking with the dealership over emails, and when should I first visit? So my recommendation is 90 days before you want to make a purchase. And I wouldn't go into the dealership before 30 days. And the reason why I say that, because a lot changes over time. So, but you're going to do your research 6 months, 9 months, a year before. I don't remember the stats, but I think the stats go into, most people are doing research for 9 months. And then when they go to a dealership, they're within 3 days of making a purchase. So I think within 30 days of doing it, go go to the dealership within 30 days and then make your decision at that point. So, and the more you do, the harder it gets. I have a client, really, really sweet lady, business owner here in Louisville. Never met her, just walked in on a busy Saturday, and I started talking to her. And she's utterly confused now because she's been doing too much research. So you just got to be careful with that too. Too much research can be a hindrance. And, she's looking at our Chevy Traverse, which is probably the right car for her wants and needs. And I've told her that. But she's also looking at a Audi Q7, which has got a lot less room for her needs. She needs this third-row passenger vehicle, not because the hauling people, because she's hauling things and she doesn't want to buy a truck for her. She's a interior decorator and stuff like that. So I think 90 days, start talking to dealers, tell them you're 90 days out, be up front. You're like, hey, I think I'm just a few months out, but I just want to get some general information. And they'll probably have a 90-day follow-up schedule with you. And that can kind of tell you which dealer wants to earn your business as well. And then, I don't think you need to go in the dealership until you're ready to buy, or within 30 days of buying, because they're gonna want to sell you a car. You're not walking in there to buy milk. You're not walking in there to buy bread. You're walking in there to buy a car, and that's their job. So let's get into tools you can use to get the best deal. So those tools are extremely important to do up front. So since somebody brought up negative equity, we want to talk about that a little bit. If you do have a trade, don't just go to Kelley Blue Book. Kelley Blue Book is evil when it comes to pricing. I'm not saying anything negative about Kelley Blue Book. For whatever reason, Kelley Blue Book just does not give realistic numbers when it comes to trade. They're doing better, but it's just not there.
Well, and you're going into somebody else's question right here. They're asking about, do dealers use Kelley Blue Book or NADA?
So we use a lot of books. We use about 10 or 15 books. And the reason we do is because there's so much data out there, but we really go off of live market data just based off of, like if you're buying a stock, you look at live market data. So when you're at home using these tools, you want to look at Kelley Blue Book. If you have a trade-in, what I like to do is use their instant cash offer. You can also go to TrueCar and get their instant cash offer. And those two tools right there for trade-ins are probably the best tools. I use the TrueCar on my personal website. So if you go to ChevyDude.com and go to what's my trade worth, it's going to tell you what your trade's worth, and it's dead on. It's always right. And so that's going to give you a really good tool and a really good tip on what your trade's worth. As far as when you're shopping for new and used cars, I've done the video on fake pricing scams, fake car prices on the internet, because a lot of dealers are doing some goofy things with that. So I showed you that V-Auto screen. I can dial this down and really, show a consumer that I'm at the best price because I put way too many options in there, right? I can really fool the system to do that, which is borderline fraudulent, it's definitely not ethical by any means. So you don't want to get too specifics because it's manipulating the numbers. You want to do that with yourself as well, because you just want to look at good values. NADA, never look at NADA. NADA is absolutely not worth anything for values when it comes to buying a car and trading for a car. And I love it when people walk into the dealership and like, well, NADA said it's worth this. Excellent. You want to look at NADA, what my car is worth, and you're going to pay me that? And all of a sudden they back up. I'm like, well, no, I don't want to pay what NADA says. Then why are you negotiating NADA on your trade, right? So again, nothing negative, nothing condescending to the person, just kind of having some fun with the conversation that we're having here. But that's you got to kind of look at that way. So like I said, for trade-in, Kelley Blue Book instant cash offer, not just Kelley Blue Book, but instant cash offer, and then TrueCar's instant cash offer will help you on your trade-in to know exactly what it's worth when you're going to a dealership. So, and use your VIN numbers on those too, by the way. Don't just drop down that I got a 2012 Chevy Avalanche, boom, use your VIN numbers because it's going to make it much, much better. Techniques on the new and used car side, TrueCar is another good one. I know a lot of people bash TrueCar, but you have to do like 13 steps to get a TrueCar price to inquiry to a dealer. So it's not like, oh, I didn't mean to do that. So it's always funny that when someone says they're a TrueCar lead and they contacted the dealerships, like, oh, I didn't mean to do that. you had to do 13 different things in order to put your information into us. And so we kind of chuckle a little bit because whatever reason they did all that and they're like, oh, I don't want to talk to a dealer, or they've been called by 5 dealers already. And it's just bombarded them, which I understand that completely as well. So, you look at NADA, or excuse me, look at NADA. So, look at, Car Gurus. You can look at Edmunds is okay. Not the best, but Car Gurus, cars.com are some of the best ones to get pricing tools. And then as far as new car deals, I see Benjamin put in a super chat. We're going to get to that. As far as new car deals, look at dealerships' websites. That's what you want to look at. Go to the dealerships' websites that you're looking at that's got the car that you want and compare dealership to dealership to dealership. Because again, it could be 2:00 in the morning. You're naked in bed looking at car deals, and we know that, and we want you to know that we have the best deal on the market, so that way we can get it. So Benjamin threw in a super chat asking, I have a 1988 K1500 OBS with 129,000 miles. Ooh, really low miles. Do dealers care about low mileage old trucks? What brings more value with older trucks? No, they don't. That truck right there. So if that truck doesn't have rust and it's a good truck, like, obviously I got a K1500 set up in my driveway right now. That truck to a dealer is worth $250. But you and I both know that if that, again, good condition truck, I wouldn't sell my truck. If I sold my truck today, I wouldn't sell it for less than $6,000. My 1995 K1500, that's in great shape, no rust. That I would, if somebody offered me $5,900 for it, I'd be like, no, $6,000. That's the number, because they're so hard to get a hold of. And that 5.7 liter engine is bulletproof. So to dealers, your truck means nothing to them. It's a $250 truck. Maybe they sell it for $2,000, right? So, but that's definitely a truck that you'd want to put on Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace. And if it's in good shape, $3,000, $2,000, $2,500, somewhere right around there. I don't know the condition of it. I was talking value on my truck because I know my truck. I know my truck doesn't have any oil leaks. I know my truck's got a spray-in bed liner. Well, I guess it does. I forgot about that. I got to get that checked out. Hopefully the Corvette's here and we can just leave that at service. So yeah, that's the thing on the K1500. Thanks for the super chat. Appreciate it.
Okay, several various questions, but all along the same lines, have to do with dealerships having different pricing for the exact same car. So let's talk new cars.
Yep.
Why would a dealership have, say, a car priced at invoice versus MSRP?
So if a car dealership's got something priced at MSRP, I wouldn't ever shop with that car dealership ever. I mean, they're just going to play games up the gate, and they're probably going to get there and they got additional dealer markups or additional dealer fees. They got the rip-off sticker on their cars. If they're not showing a discounted price on their website, I wouldn't even shop them. So why they're showing different costs is just based off of their internal pricing models. I don't know what dealerships do as far as their internal pricing models. I know what Chevy dealerships do around us, but I don't pay attention to our GMC store or the GMC store that's right there next to us. I don't pay attention to the Honda store or anything like that. I pay attention to my brand. And like I do, I just was working a deal on a Hyundai Palisade, $100 discount. That was it. That's all they're like, we can't keep these things in stock. We're going to discount $100. That's it.
Yeah.
So,
and as you're talking about that, somebody said that they bought one for invoice and half of holdback a few weeks ago. And then their friend tried to get the same deal and was told no deal.
Really? It's based off of each dealer. And, I don't know the situation, so there could be different situations there or whatever. So that's what's bad about the car dealership is your friend can get the good deal and you don't, and it could be just your techniques of negotiating. So and that's why our dealership, which I'm proud to work for our dealership, absolutely love our owners. Our owners have my back on everything, which is super nice. They've proven that time and time again with me being on social media and some of the goofiness that happens offline with phone calls and stuff like that. So, but that's what's bad about it is everybody just wants a fair deal, like I said at the beginning. So with that being said, why couldn't that guy get the same deal as his buddy did? Especially because I'm sure his buddy brought up that, hey, so-and-so was just in here and he got this same deal. Why can't I get this same deal, right? You would expect that.
Exactly.
Especially out of a referral, right? Because you're like, hey, John Smith sat there and told me to come in here.
It's like if I see a shirt that I like and my friend's like, oh, I love that shirt. Hey, I just got it for 50% off at such and such store. And, you know, a couple days later they go and it's no longer on sale. I mean,
that's just part of the sale process, right?
That is. But it's still, you just kind of.
But if you were to walk in 10 minutes later and say, hey, my buddy just bought this shirt for 50% off, and is it still 50% off? Well, it is, but not for you, right? I mean, that's kind of what you're saying when that happens. So it's really important, I think, as a dealership to treat everybody right, treat everybody fair. Which again, this podcast is not to promote Bachman Chevrolet. It's not promote me to car sales. It's to show you techniques and tips on doing the right thing when you're out buying a car, when you're not buying a car from me, right? I mean, I don't really want you to call me to buy a car. I'm so busy right now. I just can't take clients. It's crazy. I hate this. I made 123 phone calls. Today's Tuesday, yesterday, Monday, 123 phone calls yesterday.
And not one of them to me.
Not one of you. Yeah, I didn't text you all day, right? I mean, no. I text you on the way home and I'm like, oh, whoops, I missed your text message. 123 phone calls yesterday, either made or received. It was crazy. Absolutely nuts day. And that's normal for me. That's a normal day for me. But yeah, so the reason why sometimes is just their internal pricing models of why one dealership A, dealership B have different pricing. And that's when you can kind of communicate on the phone with the dealership or through email or text and like, hey, listen, dealership A's got a very similar truck. You know, the MSRP is $200 off, but they got $6,000 total discount. You've only got $3,000. Can you match their $6,000 off? And that's kind of a way you can talk to them and talk about them is, hey, I just want the same value off. I don't need the same price because the MSRPs aren't the same. I just want the same discount and same fees. And you just got to make sure that dealership A and dealership B are honest and ethical in their pricing. And that's where my dealership pricing scam video comes into play, that they show fake prices.
Why don't you pop up our texting number? Again, somebody just hopped on and was wondering what's the best way to ask a question.
Right there, 502-909-5192. Did I say that right? I got my small screen up. 502-909-5192 to text in a question.
We, again, you kind of just started answering a lot of questions have been all on the same lines. Somebody said, why do some dealers have $10,000 off Silverados and some charge MSRP? We have, why do some dealers do market adjusted pricing and others just sell at cost for the same car?
Yeah, that's kind of what I just said, that it's just based off of their internal model. So, the dealer principal, he or she pretty much tells the managers how to run things, but a lot of the decisions are made by management that they just don't have a clue sometimes. I don't bash anybody. I love everybody. If somebody was a hater on me and they walked into my house right now or walked into my dealership, I'd just shake their hand, like, hey, how you doing? And move on. I wouldn't like, oh yeah, I saw you make that negative comment on me. I don't care about stuff like that. I'm more interested in helping people. I'm more interested in taking care of people, because that typically is returned very, very easily. So, but that's, it's just the way it is. It's just goofy that, I can walk into one manager who's maybe having a bad day and he won't do something for me. And I go to the other manager an hour later that's just having a normal day or a great day. And I ask the same question and I get exactly what I want, and it's just goofy like that. It just happens. So, but a lot of times the pricing just happens from management, and, they got a chip on their shoulder. They got an ego, and, you can't deal with people with egos and whatnot. Like I always, my whole life I've had a chip on my shoulder. It's not a negative chip on my shoulder. I just want to be professional and be successful, and I want to, prove everybody wrong. I got fired from a dealership, and now here I am, and I guarantee you they're like, man, I wish we would have keep him. I wish we wouldn't have fired him, because now I've worked my ass off to, get where I'm at, and didn't let anybody bring me down or anybody take me down. And then I moved down here and I worked for a dealership for 2 years, and they didn't respect me, and they lied to me, and they wanted to do this and that. And now I'm working for a dealership for the last 10 years, and they're like, yeah, you're cool. Do whatever you want. You're happy. We're happy. You're making sales. You're top sales guy, blah, 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 and then negative things happen. They're like, okay, well, thanks for letting us know. And Ryan Bachman said today that I don't want to know what everything you're doing. Just, you make good decisions. Just do it. Make us proud, bring us in the customers, treat us right. He's like, I don't want to know every video you make or every concept you're thinking of or whatever. 99.9% of the time, everything you put out there is dead on and it's positive and it's professional. And if somebody's got a problem with it, we just can't handle it. We just have to deal with it,
Yeah. Well, they always say when one door closes, another one opens and everything. But let's get back on task.
Yes.
Okay. So a couple questions have came in around negotiating a price on a new car that was ordered. And then somebody else asked if dealers, let me find that question, how dealers feel about custom orders compared to buying off the lot. So these questions go hand in hand here.
So personally, custom orders I could care less about. If you want to custom order something, sweet. If you are trying to custom order a Silverado because you want a bucket seat rather than the only thing we have with bench, like let me just locate it, right? I can locate it. I know I got that video out there that the Georgia dealership sold us a wrecked truck and we didn't know. Well, we've made precautions into that, right? And that's such a low risk to happen. But you can talk with your salesman and just do it. But as far as pricing on a special order vehicle, my dealership prices everything at invoice or below. Like I had a guy today that texted me from Florida and he wanted a Tahoe that we didn't have. And I'm like, I can get you a Tahoe. That's pretty easy, but it's limited. 2021s are already being built. 2021s are starting to be built this month. And I said, so we need to hurry, and so I just walked into the general sales manager and said, hey, how do you want me to price this Tahoe from another dealer? He says $500 over invoice. And we probably have to buy that at what in General Motors terms is pay $310, which is we don't get any holdback because we get it from another dealer. So we literally going to make $500 on this car and to go get it and drive and stuff like that. I don't charge anybody to go get cars. So literally we're going to make $500 or less on this car deal. They're going to pay me $100 to sell the car. So now you're less than $400 to sell a $75,000 Tahoe. I think that's fair. So if it was in stock, could you get a little bit better deal? Absolutely, because it's in stock. But what I do on orders is we talk about the pricing. I don't negotiate with my customers. I'm like, here's the price. That's it. It's kind of take it or leave it, right? Not rudely, not inappropriately, not unprofessional, but it's like, listen, I'm busy. You're busy. You're here for a reason. You want to deal with me because all my clients are either they know me or they're previous customers or they're referrals. So I just cut to the chase and get things done. And most of the times people appreciate that. And they want to cut to the chase. So I tell them this is what it is. And then in any rebates that are available are at time of delivery. So I just did a Duramax 3.0 liter half-ton truck. So that customer got a $6,200 better deal from when we ordered his truck on the last day of December of 2019. It was December 30th. I ordered that truck for him. And he got $6,200 in rebates that, we didn't know what the rebates were going to be the day he picked it up. So I'm like, okay, Glenn, his name is Glenn. I'm like, let me check the rebates, $6,250. So your price is this. He's like, cool, awesome. Because he already knew everything. It was just like, hey, this is the price and it's $6,250 less now. Okay, cool. He was budgeting for the higher price. Because I always tell everybody, if there's no rebates, there's no rebates. And I know the market, I know the trucks, there's not going to be no rebates on a Silverado. But I want to prepare everybody for the worst case scenario. I don't want to prepare people for best case scenario and then have to backpedal when they got their dream truck or the truck that they worked so hard to get a hold of. And
right. Okay. So I'm combining some questions here once again. But these two questions pertain to relatively the same thing. What's a reasonable percentage to expect to negotiate off of invoice? And then somebody asked if invoice price is the real invoice price.
So the average new car dealer makes 2% net profit. Net Do you hear me? Net. 2% net profit. That's what the average dealer is. And I know people are like, you're lying, you're making that up. Go Google it. Just Google it. That's all you gotta say. Just average new car profit. So before I got on the show, I Googled what the average used car dealer profit was, and it was like $56 from 2014. I'm like, holy crap. And but again, that's over millions of cars sold, right? So the margins on cars is lower and lower and lower every single year. So invoice price is invoice price. I know back in the 80s, I wasn't selling cars back then. I was barely out of diapers, but people would always talk about, are you laughing at me or laughing at a text?
I'm laughing at you.
Okay, good. Are you laughing with me or laughing at me?
At you.
Okay, just want to make sure. Laughing at me. I'll write that down. So, there was like, oh, there's people in the back making up fake invoices. I don't know if that was true or not, but I've never seen it in 20 years of selling cars. So yes, the real invoice is the real invoice, but there are dealer profits built into those invoices when it comes time to, we got the holdback and stuff like that. But like my dealership, if you're buying like a Silverado from me, you're getting holdback already. I mean, we just have to be super aggressive based off of our market, and we're giving up holdback without you asking, because that's just our market. So we're working to make back our money from the manufacturer over volume. So, but also a reasonable, it just depends on the car, 2020 C8, 0. Silverado, you probably going to have $3 or $4 grand in discounts and $5 or $6 grand in rebates. But that goes into the last thing I'm going to talk about on here. We'll ask questions, hold that question, but
the question had to do with what we were talking about.
Okay. My last thing. Okay. Well, let's do this. My last thing that I wanted to talk about in this podcast and live stream was how willing are car dealers to negotiate in 2020. That's a really good topic. How willing are they to negotiate? I don't negotiate. I'm dead on. I had a customer in here the other day about Corvette. I'm like, here's where I'm at. Well, other dealers are doing this. I understand. But at 10% off MSRP, that's a $100 loser deal. That's a holdback and everything. And my dealership's not willing to take anything less than that. So again, not a jerk comment. I'm not being a jerk when I say this. I'm just being straightforward, which again, my clients seem to appreciate. And I know YouTube world, they may start roasting me, but that's just what it is. I'm a very, very straightforward person, kind of black and white when it comes to it, because I don't want to be there 4 hours with someone. If you need to be there for 4 hours, no problem. I'll spend all the time in the world with you to help you make a good, well-informed decision. But I'm not going to drag you around the dealership for 4 hours. Most people don't want that. So most dealerships, if they're good and they're ethical, you're probably not going to get much money off. My dealership's infamous saying, the guy that sits next to me, if $100 or $200 meant to do business, I'll figure it out. $500, $1,000, it's not going to happen. And if you're seeing those big discounts and big rebates off of cars up from the get-go, then there's not going to be much out there. If you're looking on Car Gurus and you're seeing that they're a good price, and the good thing I love about Car Gurus is it's full transparency. They tell you how long the dealership has had the car, what price markets that they've done. They've dropped them and stuff like that. And they show you if it's a good price or a bad price. They show you the Carfax. They show you everything about it. And when you see all those stuff adding up and being positive, then there's not going to be much room to negotiate. The unethical dealers, the old school dealers, there's a lot of room to negotiate on those. If you start seeing those rip-off stickers on their cars, there's a lot of room to negotiate. But the good dealerships like me, again, you got to look at dealerrater.com. You got to look at cars.com. You got to look at, Google reviews. Yelp, it really depends. Don't look at Yelp in our area. Our Yelp reviews suck. Who
uses Yelp?
See, but we don't use Yelp around here. Restaurants, really. But people in the Northeast, Yelp does everything. I sold a guy a used Camaro 3 years ago, up in upstate New York, and he looked at our Yelp reviews, and he wasn't going to call us. And then he saw one Yelp review about me, Googled my name, saw who I was, and called me. And that's the only reason we got that deal. But because he was looking at Yelp and wasn't gonna call us because of our bad Yelp reviews. Just Yelp's a horrible business. Yelp is horrible. And that's maybe talking bad about them. Yelp is a horrible business. They will take somebody like me who writes a really strong review about a good impression of a transactional process with someone. And then because I'm not in the Yelp system, or I don't make a lot of Yelp comments and then they squash my review so you can't see it and they don't count it towards their star rating. That is a bad process. And that's why I don't use it, because I don't think that my review is going to be good. I had one of my customers like, hey, would you write me a Yelp review? And I did it because he's a customer of mine and because he's wrote me reviews, but my review got squashed. It's hidden and it doesn't affect the star reviews, and that's bad business in my opinion. All right, so the question you had.
Okay, somebody wanted to know if it was rude to ask for invoice, and let me find this, to ask for the invoice price, and then how do you know that the figure they give is actually invoice price?
I don't think it's rude to ask. I don't think it's necessary to ask, because there's so many places out on the internet that you can get invoice price on any car. I got 1,300 cars in stock. 1,600 cars in stock. Go pull any 1,600, go to True Car, and you can get invoice price on any one of them without asking. So
basically the best thing to do, if you really want to know that the invoice price they give you is true, go to True Car or one of the other services.
Yeah, just Google how to get an invoice price, and it's going to tell you, and it's going to be truthful, and they tell you everything, and that's probably one of the best things to do. It's like, I don't want to sit there and talk about how we're going to get away from dealerships or delete them or whatever. And I know a lot of people are like, in 10 years, dealerships are not going to be needed. It's not true. The dealerships are always going to be around, but the tactics that is used is going to be completely different on doing things. And that's why my channel will survive, because, okay, something I talked about 5 years ago may not be relevant anymore. And then we've changed things, right? Again, 10 years ago, we weren't talking about cars.com and Auto Trader and stuff like that. And that stuff just wasn't happening. People were still going in and searching the lot and walking the lot and looking at cars and stuff like that. So, that stuff just doesn't happen anymore.
Okay. So somebody chimed in with, they found their 2018 Camaro 2SS about 900 miles away on cars.com. Says my insurance company recommended TrueCar.com, but I found they added zero value to the deal. Is TrueCar.com just like Cars.com? So basically, every one of those car gurus, they're all pretty much similar.
Yeah,
same.
they have their own models because they're all individually owned by different companies or by different individuals or whatever. So that's why it's good to look at all of them and get a good gauge on the market. That's why I said earlier when someone asked, do dealers use Kelley Blue Book? We do, but we only use Kelley Blue Book because consumers look at that. We look at so much more stuff. We look at the live data that everything shows and whatnot. And, that's what's important, is the live data. So you can kind of do that as well, but look at different resources to get the best information. So that way you can make a well-informed decision. That's the biggest thing, is just be well-informed.
Okay. And let's see. Somebody wants to know, when's the best time to buy a car?
It's a good question. It's always a good question. The best time to buy is when you're ready to buy. We talked about this, I think on the first live stream that we did 3 weeks ago. Can you imagine we've already been doing this for 3 episodes now? I love this. This is fun. Every time we've gotten off here, it's been like, I'm hyped. I had so much fun talking with people and interacting with people and getting the questions.
But I'm going to tell you, we're going to have to do another Friday night.
Are we? Yeah, I see a lot of C8 questions in there.
There's a lot of C8 stuff coming through, which is very hard for the podcast time.
Yep, it is. Yep. Friday night, we can do Corvette Friday nights or something like that. So, but the question was when the best time was to buy a car. So it varies. It's not a set in stone. So I know everywhere out there, and they'll tell you go at the end of the month. That can be true in some cases, but there's some cases that dealerships have fast start bonuses from the manufacturer, and so they're discounting greater at the beginning of the month than they were at the end of the month. But then you get to the end of the month, and the dealerships are like, "Oh crap, we're 5 short of our manufacturer goal, whatever." Right? So they have to kind of work at it and hit that 5 goals. We just had that happen on Monday. We needed like a couple more or something, right? So we work hard throughout the whole entire month to get there. But there was 3 dealerships in the metro market area of Louisville that didn't hit their mark with the manufacturer. And I guarantee you, if somebody would have went to those dealerships, they may, depends on how far they're off. I don't know that information, but if they're 1 or 2 off, they might've got a really good deal. I know we were 1 or 2 off from one of our numbers, and our finance manager was convinced to buy a car, and Ryan Bachman was like, I'll fix your trade in, and, or I'll fix your lease turn in, cause he had a big dent in it. And, he did a bunch of other stuff, and, he got a good deal because he was the last person in the building, and they convinced him to buy a car on the last day of the month in the last minute, because we had no more customers there. So it just varies, but the best time to buy the car is when you're ready to buy. Typically speaking, January 1 to December 31st, and 12 times throughout the year on the first day and the last day of the month, the incentives and rebates and pricing is going to be within about $500. It's very, very characteristic, and it's very, very common to see that the pricing is pretty set forth throughout the year. I had in 2005, I think, was the first year that General Motors came out for employee pricing for everyone. The month before, I sold a brand new Hummer H2, and then the day before, I sold a brand new Hummer H2, last day of the month, last hour of the day, blah, blah, blah. Next day, employee pricing for everyone came out. Customer calls me up, mad, right? I want that pricing. I got screwed, blah, blah, blah. So let me put a pencil to it and see what happens. Yesterday's pricing was $500 cheaper than the employee pricing for everyone. So it's just what happens. And that's 2005. Nothing's changed. It's all the same. It's all very characteristic on pricing and stuff like that. So like I said, best time to buy is when you're ready to buy.
And I think you kind of already hit on this. Somebody asked, is there a better time of the month to buy? But you kind of hit on that, being just depends on what the dealership has going on as to what's going to work best. So basically, if you want to buy in the month of February, then, start looking, start talking to dealerships, and just choose what part of the month you want to buy it in.
Yep. So, I just had something come to mind. I can't remember what I thought. I should have wrote it down. I was reading comments over here, but, what was it? Gosh dang, it was something about buying and whatnot, but, oh, well, I lost it. On to the next one.
On to the next one.
You should have wrote my thought down so I wouldn't have forgot it.
If I could actually read your mind, I probably would have, but
you can't read my mind.
I'm trying to go through all these things and weed out, questions and stuff. Somebody wants to know, how does trade-in work on a limited production car? So let's talk a little bit about that.
A limited production car trade-in, like maybe they only made, like, let's use our Grand Prix, a Grand Prix GXP, right? There are not too many V8 Grand Prix out there. A limited, you know what? Let's use something more modern. Well, I'll use that. I got a more modern car. So limited doesn't always mean that that's good. So, but let's go to this. Let's go to the Chevy SS. We're talking the 4-door, 400 horsepower car. That thing's going to hold its value. It's a rocket. That we should have sold 1 million of those cars. We shouldn't have got rid of Holden in Australia either. But for whatever reason, they didn't sell. The Chevy SS car, love that car. The G8 car, love that car. But they just didn't sell for whatever reason. And it's sad. It is sad to see Holden gone in Australia. But that car is a limited production car, and it's going to hold its value. A limited, kind of like a limited, like all blackout edition Silverado, or a limited edition.
Midnight edition.
Yeah, the midnight, blackout. The midnight edition vehicles, those are limited, but it's not that big. Let's look at a SS1LE car, right? Those are limited cars. Camaro SS1LE, 2-in-1 SS. Those are going to bring a little bit more money, but not a ton. I mean, it's got to be the right buyer, but limited can be. So I guess I really guess that's the point I've just made, is a limited can be more value, but at the same time, just because it says limited or there wasn't a lot sold doesn't mean a whole lot. At one time, a PT Cruiser was being sold for $10,000 over MSRP. Just remember that.
A PT Cruiser
with the wood grain side panels. Remember those?
Yeah, I always like the Prowler.
Yeah, there's one. Prowlers, they still bring good money. We had a purple one a couple years ago. It's on video somewhere.
Okay.
Another question for us?
I'm trying to find them. It gets hard when I have to, go through all these C8 questions.
Yeah, I know. We gotta keep these on topic. I'll answer a C8 question. I saw someone.
I found one.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, I already told people on YouTube that we would answer C8 questions at the end of this podcast.
Okay.
So I will get to some of the C8 questions that are coming in, I promise. Not be everything.
Yeah, so we'll do, we're an hour, 10 minutes on the podcasting part, so we'll do one more negotiating car buying question, and we'll end the podcast, and we'll stay on live for the live streamers. So someone asked, I can't find this question. He asked about his priority number on the his order for the C8. So the priority number doesn't really mean anything. It's just basically in the order of importance internally with the dealership. So like if someone put their order in August 15th, and you put your order in August 16th, I'm going to have him a number 1 and you're a number 2. So that's all it really means. It doesn't really mean anything. GM doesn't look at that. It's just internal accounting for the dealership. So did you find a good question to end this on?
I have a question from an independent car dealer.
Okay. Like they're an independent car dealer?
Yes.
Or somebody's asking about an independent car dealer? Okay.
It's as an independent used car dealer.
Wait, does everybody know what an independent car dealer is? That's the consumers need to know what an independent. A lot of times we call them indie dealers, INDI. So an independent car dealer is a dealership that is not got a manufacturer behind it. So like we're a franchise dealer, we're a Chevrolet store. So so a dealership, ABC Motors, like if I bought a used car lot today, I would be an independent dealer. So whatever I name it, Davenport Autos, I would be an independent dealer because I do not have a new car manufacturer. So typically your used car dealers they're always used car dealers. They're an independent dealership. So independent dealerships got a question? Ask away.
Well, yes, but
I love that a dealer's on here asking a question because it's really important because this stuff, I'm ranting again here, but this stuff is not, I'm not bashing dealers. I'm helping dealers. I'm helping consumers. And I love when, like some people are negative, like some people I'm talking about dealers, when they're negative towards me, they're missing the message. They're missing the point. Consumers are looking for this information and consumers are wanting to know how to do the right things. Well, guess what, dealers? I'm putting this information out there. You seeing how well my YouTube channel works. You're going to see how well this podcasting works. And if you listen to me, you can go out to the consumer and do exactly what I'm doing and be successful. So I love that the independent dealer is here.
But first, we have this pink, I guess that's super chat. I mean, all the super chats I've seen have been green.
Yeah, that's just he doesn't have a question. He just wanted to give me some cash. Larry, thank you so much. That's awesome, dude. I appreciate that.
He did mention that because of your content, he ordered a C8 last summer with his dealer, and it should be going to production soon.
GM, are you listening? GM, are you listening? Because of me, he bought a car, not from me. That's what I don't think. I'm going to rant. I don't think that's what GM understands, that I'm bringing a lot of great information. So there's some haters out there that are distracting some higher ups, and they're only seeing the negative things, and they're not seeing all the positive things. So I don't want to do anything negative for GM. I love GM. I love Chevy. I love the brand. I don't need to sell cars anymore. I want to do YouTube full time. But you know what? I love selling cars, and I continue to want to sell cars. And some days it's really hard when I get not talked to like negatively, but the owner of my company says, yeah, we received 10 phone calls because people are hating that you did this or you did that, or, GM employees are doing stupid stuff. I don't want to do negative things. Everything that I do on my channel, everything I do here is positive, and it's reinforcement, and it's great for everybody who's involved.
Okay, so back to our independent car dealer. Okay, as an independent used car dealer, the general public has no clue what costs are involved in buying a used car at the auction fees, transportation costs, refurbishing, etc. That's just getting the car ready for the lot. We then have to stand behind them with a warranty, advertising, dealer floor plans, dealership licensing, insurances on the building liability, and then because we're in business, we need to make a profit. So Knowledge of the market sometimes dictates your selling price and therefore your potential profit. I had to go through all that.
No, it's good. I understand it.
The question is, how do you politely explain this to your customer who is trying to lowball you?
That's a great comment. I love that. That right there, guys. This is an extremely important question that could be great for everybody, for the dealership side and for the consumer side. And here's how I answer this to the question. And I've already answered the question the entire time. We have to price our vehicles based off of the information that we push on the internet that you may never contact us. I may never see that you're shopping for a car. So if I've got the car in stock in inventory and you're contacting me because you want my car and because you know that it's a good deal, it's a fair price, it's the best deal. I use good deal, even though I told everybody what I thought about good deal. I still use a good deal term with customers, but that's how I handle it. It's like, you called me for a reason, in a nutshell. But, and I'm just straightforward with them. And believe it or not, 9 times out of 10, let's say you bat 50% as a dealer, that you talk to 100 people and 50 of them you tell that, they're like, okay. And they give you more opportunity to buy the car or to sell the car to them and they want to buy the car. But yeah, absolutely. You just have to be straightforward, straight, transparent. In the chat system right now, if you want a dealership to be transparent with you, put a thumbs up in the chat. Not even a thumbs up on the video, a thumbs up in the chat. If you just want a dealership to be transparent in the way they do things, put a thumbs up. You're going to see these thumbs up. There's 367 people watching right now. We've had over 4,000 people on here. These thumbs up are going to go crazy because everybody wants to be transparent. Everybody just wants us to tell people exactly the way it is. And that's what's important. And just telling people is being straightforward with them. And that's what I do. I don't beat around the bush. And I always tell them, like, listen, I'm not saying anything to be rude or negative or mean to you. I'm just telling you the way it is. There ain't no negotiating. I've got my best price out there. There's a reason you called me. And they're like, yep. They always agree with me. Always agree with me. And that's what I love about the car business, is because when you can show that you're transparent, you can show that you're honest, you can show that you're ethical, they'll close every single time, to consumers and to dealers. I don't hide anything. I don't do anything crazy like that. I'm not hiding the profit that I make. I'm not hiding anything. I'm just telling it. And that was one question I had. I didn't answer this. I'm just going to let that go for another day. So
yep, you said we were done.
Yep, we were. So guys, here we're closing the podcast portion of this live stream. And I just want to appreciate everybody. If you're listening to the podcast every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. on the YouTube channel, Chevy Dude, we're here doing this live. We're on for about 15 minutes prior to the podcast, and we're on for another 15, 20 minutes after the podcast live stream. And then every Wednesday morning at 6 a.m. On your favorite podcasting platform, this audio will be there so you can load in, put your RSS feed in there and get it. So guys, as always, thanks again for watching. Have a fantastic day and drive safely.
And you said watching. It should have been listening, because this was podcast that you were closing out.
Yep.
Okay, so now we can answer a few C8 questions. Please do not inundate me with more. We have a lot. Somebody wanted to know if the plant is working 24/7.
They're pretty close. So the information that I received is yesterday. Today's Tuesday. Yeah. Yesterday they started 10-hour days. So 2 shifts at 10-hour days. That means they're working 20 hours a day. And they're probably doing big overtime. So it's kind of interesting to see what's going on. I'm watching that stuff pretty closely. I get a lot of good information from people, and a lot of it I don't share. A lot of it I just keep internally, just to help myself out and to help people out. Maybe I can think about it a little bit and do a better video. Austin threw in a $5 super chat. He says, love watching you, Chevy Dude. Hope it's not too late. I want to hear my name. Austin, there's your name. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. I like that character. He's got a little skeleton. I wish I could do stuff like that, like get a tattoo of the skeleton.
I don't even want to hear about tattoos out of you.
I still don't have a tattoo. I said, for people who don't know, I told everybody if I hit 100,000, one of the things I did in 2018, if I hit 100,000 subscribers by December 31st, 11:59 and 59 seconds that I would get a tattoo, signaling I had no tattoos, signaling that I hit 100,000 subscribers. And I missed it by like 21 days. I got my 100,000 subscriber on January 21st or something like that. So I never got the tattoo. But she continues to say and harass me that I got no tattoos.
She has tattoos.
You do have tattoos. I have zero.
Did you even bother to put me on screen?
Yeah, you were up there.
Okay.
Yep.
And that's the easiest tattoo to see.
I seem to get more thumbs up when you're on the screen. Interesting.
Well, maybe because they like looking at something pretty and not you. Okay. This is a great question. Is there going to be programming difficulties when an owner does performance upgrades and tries to do a computer reflash on the C8?
So I'm getting mixed information on this. I'm getting mixed information that yes, there will be. And then I'm also getting stuff that they're trying to make this fairly tuner friendly. So we're going to find out. So that's one of the things that I'm going to do is see if we can tune this car. I want to do some things to it. I want to do some mods to my C8. So we'll see. You definitely can watch my channel and find out. I'm not, I've never done this stuff before. I'm branching out. We all have one life to live, and I'm to the point now where I want to live it, and I want to have fun with stuff because I've never done this stuff before, and it's all new. And I know I'm gonna get roasted on a lot of this stuff. I get roasted every day. It doesn't affect me, but I know I'm gonna get roasted on some of the stuff I do because I'm gonna screw up and make mistakes, and I'm gonna say the wrong thing or say the wrong terminology. I get that. I know that. But I'm going to have fun doing it. And I want people to be around me and have fun with me because that's what it's all about.
Okay. So somebody wants to know, when will the C8s be in the dealerships so I can buy one? Now, I assume you do not have one on order.
Yeah, they're asking
that question.
They're asking like inventory. So,
yeah. When do you expect dealerships to actually have inventory sitting around on the lots?
So we were on a dealer call today. And the dealer call said that they have sold 5 times more orders in the system right now than the plant can handle. And I was like, what? 5 times?
Which means
I've never heard that number.
This is coming
straight from GM. This isn't rumors. This isn't anything. This is straight from GM. I'm like, what? 5 times? Wow. I'm expecting them to hit 50,000 plus, close to 60,000 in 1 year. I think that's their goal. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. So I keep telling everybody 2021 we'll probably see one a lot, but I don't know. I just keep getting mixed information, which is why I don't make content on it. We can talk about it. We can have a conversation about it and just him haul around it. I know my video yesterday. I probably said it way too many times in yesterday's video. I'm not spreading rumors. I'm not doing. I was like, why did I say that? Why did I go through the edit process and leave all that stuff in there? That was dumb of me. But I'm getting roasted on it today in C8 groups and stuff. But oh well.
Oh, they love to do that. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you say.
No.
Somebody wants to know about the engine appearance package. Besides carbon fiber and lights, is there anything else to it? And do they light up while driving?
Nope, that's it. It's the two lights. I've showed that on video multiple times in the carbon fiber. I don't think they'll light up while they're driving. But we're going to test that out. We'll have it in videos.
Do you expect it to light up with the trunk open?
Yes. The front, well, the deck, I don't know what you call it. You call it the bonnet? I don't know.
I mean, there's still a trunk.
The back thing, but no, it's a frunk. It's a frunk.
No, there is still.
Oh, there is a trunk back there.
Trunk.
It's not I don't know what that thing back there is called anymore. That the engine's in the back. I don't get it. It's hard to say the trunk or wait. The trunk's in the back. The frunk's in the front. Wait. What's what?
Yeah. And this question is not C8 related, but semi C8 related. C7. Is it a good time to be buying one now, or wait a little bit longer?
No, I think it's a good time. I don't think they're going to do anything different with C7s. I think the C7 inventory is fairly low from what I see out there. But no, I I don't think they're going to come out with anything crazy like they did 3 or 4 years ago of 20% off or whatever. I think they're happy with the inventory, and again, a lot of the rumors and clickbait articles out there, they're like, you know, inventory is way too high. I've only got 3 left, and I really like to have 10 or 15 in stock right now. After December, we sat down with my ownership and management, and I'm like, wow, we just sold a lot of C7s, and that's scary. We're not going to have any. And we got 3 left. So I'm glad that we got 3. I didn't think that we'd have any, but we didn't sell a whole lot. I mean, I only sold a couple for February. I sold 1 in March, 2 in March, 3. Yeah, I only sold like 5 over the last 2 months, but December was crazy.
Okay. Somebody, and I don't know if this person's still on now, but they asked, they're getting a C8 in May. I'm not sure if that is ordering or because we have no clue when anybody's going to be receiving their C8s. But he wants to know, what can I expect my dealer to try to sell me? I plan on lining up my own financing through my credit union. So basically, just let's name off a few extras that can be sold at a dealership.
So what I'm going to offer my clients, and it's you know, it's take it or leave it. It's not going to hurt my feelings if you do it, or it's not going to hurt my feelings if you don't do it. So, or it's not, I don't know what I just said. It's not going to hurt my feelings if you don't do it. So, but I only offer products that I think is valuable, right? So extended warranties, I think extended warranties are fantastic because they're just, there's so many expensive items on these cars. We don't know how much this thing's going to cost, a computer or radio or whatever the case may be, computer modules, coolers, whatever the case may be. And then big one I've talked about recently was tire and wheel. I think tire and wheel is a good thing to have. Expensive tires, expensive wheels. We see what the C7s are doing with the bent wheels and the cracked wheels. Don't know what the reason why that is. If it's just bad driving, you're hitting potholes, or there's a problem with the wheel. And then you got paint protection and stuff like that. Key replacement is another item that's a really good item. These keys are now raking up about $250, $300 a piece to replace. So if you can buy, you know, a $600 or $700 policy that protects you for 5 or 6 years or whatever the term is, and you lose 2 keys, you know. So a lot of people still finance these things. So it's just about a budget. So when our middle child got a car, we bought all of her oil changes up front for 10 years because now she can budget, and all she has to do is worry about her car payment, and she just goes in and gets the oil change every 10,000 miles with her car. So we did that. There's probably oil changes out there. My dealership doesn't offer those, but they're, you know, you just got to look at them and see if there's a good deal. I think warranty. So what I'll probably mainly offer my customers is warranty, paint protection, and then tire wheel is probably the big 3 that I'll offer. So like, you know, like Stradman, I mean, he's not going to buy anything. I mean, you know, I already know that. I'm not even going to ask him. I'm not even going to bring it up. You know, so because he doesn't have his cars very long, he mods them, he does, you know, stuff like that. Like we've got a warranty on the C7, but I think that warranty should be voided by now because I put the headers on it. But
we talked about whether or not we were going to put one on the C8.
Right.
I
don't think I'm going to, because I don't think I'm going to have
it.
Yeah, I don't know. So we'll make that decision when I buy it. So I was working with our warranty company a month ago, 2 months ago. No, it was a month ago. Getting prices on C8 warranties and stuff like that. But it is what it is.
Okay. We had
You want to answer this? I need to use the restroom.
Oh, well, this one I can't answer. So I will have to move on to something else. Have fun. I've seen a lot of people ask about the shipping of the C8s, and he didn't even bother to put me. Oh, I guess I am on screen. Jeez. Right now, there still isn't any shipping. We're not positive when they're getting shipped out. And hopefully we will see them soon, really soon. But, okay, back to more questions. The show should stick to the C8. I agree to an extent, but you know, we're trying to do something different when it comes to Tuesday nights. They are, you know, about car buying tips, where Mike's going to have a whole lot of videos on C8 coming up as soon as we get ours.
You didn't give any secrets of my videos, did you?
No.
I'll leave for 2 minutes and you're giving the secrets
away. I'm telling everybody what they shouldn't know. No, it's just, you know, was trying to sit there and think of a couple different things that people had said throughout the live stream, and, you know, just trying to answer those questions. And I didn't think you put me on screen, and then I look over and say, I'm actually on screen.
Yeah, I flipped the camera to you. The personal protection. Someone said personal protection.
Yes. Do you need personal protection spray on you? I'd be happy to spray you down.
That's what I was talking about earlier, is like I just say the wrong things, right? I don't catch it. And you know, that particular video I shot over 3 weeks or something like that. And and I was talking to the owners of 360 Collision, and I was like, I think I've been calling it personal protection spray. And they're like, oh my God. And I said, I'll say something at the end. I said, so I brought up the server and I was looking at the videos, and I'm like, I was calling it personal protection spray. I'm an idiot. and so I was like, oh, well, we'll just have a little fun with it, and, you know, make sure I say it the right way. But, yeah, I will be doing paint protection spray.
Are you sure?
I am. So I will be doing paint protection spray in the car right away. So,
somebody had a question about, do you know approximately how many C8s have been manufactured so far?
I haven't. I need to look. Probably somewhere right around 1,700. So when I was down there on Sunday, every spot is filled, and then some more. And I got on satellite and I looked at some more spots, and I kind of counted approximately where they're at, and it looks like about 1,700 cars are built. They can't put any more cars back there. They're completely full. So it looks like 1,700 spots is what's filled up right now, based off of, you know, me looking at things. And I'll tell you this too. So everybody's like, get the drone out. I have not wanted to fly a drone because several people at General Motors watched me, and they're just waiting for me to screw up, right? And I don't want to screw up, and I don't want to do, and that's a lot of pressure on me too, because, you know, but I was talking to my owner, and he's like, there's got to be somebody that's their just whole job is to watch everything you do, which is sad, because I only want to bring positivity to the brand, but I don't want to fly a drone there because I did talk to security there, and they said, yeah, if there's a drone sighting, that security is immediately notified, and they can't do anything about it. It's an FAA thing. But what comes into play is there's an airport right around the corner there, and they're within the threshold of the FAA laws and rules. So there's two reasons I'm not flying a drone down in Bowling Green. One, because of the airport with the FAA, and two, because I just don't want to poke the bear. I love GM and I love Chevy and I love this Corvette, and I want to work with them and do things. And I think some of the higher up are getting some bad information from some lower line people that just simply hate me or simply don't like me. But hopefully with the meeting that I had today with them, that they're gonna see a little bit of a different story, and maybe we have some better things coming down the road. So. But okay. It's fun.
Back to the question I was going to ask before you rudely got up to go to the bathroom and leave me all alone. Just joking. Maybe. Not really.
Ask the question.
Somebody had a question about dealer installed options. Basically, they have a C8 on order from a dealer, and they recently went to this dealer and noticed that every new C7 had the dealer installed options on the sticker. He wants to know, should he expect that to be happening to his C8 when it shows up at this dealer?
Yeah, I would definitely do it. So
how he cannot pay for it.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. That's why I did so many videos over the summer. Right before the C8 was ever announced, I did so many videos of how to negotiate with a dealer selling over MSRP, what to look for in the scams and stuff like that. And maybe you caught those videos, maybe you didn't, but it's at this point, it's you've got two decisions. If they're unwilling to budge, pay for that crap and get your car and have some excitement and know that you overpaid, but you're overpaying for excitement, or two, walk away and wait for the car another time. It's sad. It's really, really, truly sad that dealerships, grab us like this, but it is what it is. But you can certainly use my tips on buying a car from over MSRP. And it's like, listen, I'll send more business to you. I'm going to use your service department. I'll write good reviews.
Well, this is talking about those basically rip-off
stickers, right? So, but you can negotiate off of those and say, listen, I'm not paying any of that stuff. You didn't tell me that up front.
Yeah, and it does say he or she was not told ahead of time.
The only things that you're obligated to pay to a car dealership is the purchase price of the car, state sales tax, and state title fees. You don't even have to pay the dealer doc fee. Yes, I'm a car salesman. Tell me you don't have to pay the dealer doc fee, but watch my dealer doc fee video. It's tough to get out of paying that, because simple fact is dealerships are scared that if they don't charge it to everybody, that there could be a possible lawsuit. People sue over the stupidest things. We all know that, right? So they're just not willing to take the chance. I wouldn't take the chance. If it was my dealership, I would not take the chance. I would lose a deal over it. 100%. It's not worth the risk. There's too much risk, especially, and just like I said in that video, especially if we want to go to the extreme. Man versus woman, white versus black, races versus races, stupid stuff like that. And I'm not calling anything stupid. I'm just saying the stupid thought process of it, right? Let's be human beings, or let's sit here and have some common sense to treat people with respect. But that's where people go with this. You get anybody involved, you get an attorney involved and stuff like that. The attorneys are so smart and they know how to sue people for a lot of money. So that's the way dealers think. But that hopefully those couple tips help you out and get you, your C8. But that's the most important thing. Just, get the C8, have some fun, and you'll forget about the money. There's more money made every day. The U.S. Treasury prints $100 bills every single day. There's no shortage of money. And
then where's mine?
Oh, it's in the mail. Check's in the
mail. It's like, I don't have any money. I mean, geez. Okay, so somebody just texted in, does GM have any estimated time to finish building the 2020 C8? I know you've talked about that a couple times. So when do we expect the 2020 to be done for this year?
So let me look here. So everything I've gotten is TBD, but I'm also told in print from wait a second. I'm pretty sure September 1. That's weird. I'd have to go back and look at my email. September 1 was first day of production for 2021, but that's a Tuesday. That's weird. So it should be September 1. Sometime in September is the first day of production. I've always said September 1, but that is that's a Tuesday. Production always starts on a Monday. So September is definitely the time when we're going to see 2021 start. But basically in April is going to be the last time that you can put a 2020 in. So if you don't have your order in April, it's going to be a 2021 for sure, or 2020 for April, but you're going to be 2021.
You need to talk more into your mic, mister.
Yeah, sorry.
As you're sitting there thinking. So option on the C8 for winter tires. Does the C8 have the option?
So they have the all-season tires that you can get, but I've been showing those Michelin Alpine tires, which I haven't looked those up. The Michelin Alpine tires. So it's kind of interesting that I see these tires on these CTP or CTF vehicles, but I don't think you can buy these Michelin Alpine tires in that size yet. So they're all over the place, but they do have those all-season tires, which you should be fine with those too. So again, that's something we're going to find out. we'll be driving my car all year round. I did get insurance quote today. I text Josh, and
do I want to know?
No, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. So typically with our current Corvette, we have it insured with the National Corvette Museum because it's insured under the classic car. So with that, it's only like $700 a year or something like that. So I text my insurance agent. His name's Josh. He's a good customer of mine as well. And I said, hey, here's my VIN. Give me insurance quote. And he texted me back. He says 5,000 miles a year. I said, nope. I said, you better triple that number, 15,000 a year. And I said, I'm daily driving this thing. So $1,400 a year.
Wait, really? Because that's cheaper than my Tesla.
Yeah. $1,400 a year. It was cheaper than the Camaro, was it not?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I think so too. $1,400 a year.
I think he must misquoted you.
We'll see what happens. I mean, if he comes back and he's like, hey, I made a mistake, and it's $2,000 a year. I mean, I can't do anything about it. I got to insure the car, but $1,400 a year. It's crazy.
Yeah, my Tesla's more than that.
Somebody said, what's his name? Hockey Joe. He said there's a set of tires and rims for sale in Detroit. I wanted to be funny on that. I wanted to really be funny on that. I wanted to put on Craigslist tires for sale, and I didn't do it because I just thought it'd be funny. It would just get a lot of press, right? But I didn't do it. Thank God I didn't do it.
Yep. So somebody asked earlier in the podcast, how dealerships price modified Corvettes. So if you're looking to, I guess, trade in or even a deal, does a dealership sell a modified? It's
case by case basis. Like I've sold modified cars, but lightly modified, typically bolt on stuff. If you get crazy into it, a lot of times my used car manager's like, no, I'm not interested in that car. I would be interested in that car to sell as a dealership, but he's the one making the decision. So you got to remember that modding your car does not build value in your car. It actually decreases value because most cars are not modded. Most cars don't have a turbo on them or a supercharger or a cam or anything like that. So it actually decreases value. So I sell it like a normal car. I just had a really nice 650 horsepower Camaro, Gen 5 Camaro that we sold for right at normal price because not everybody wants that modified car, and it makes it a little bit harder to sell. But I had someone text.
Yeah, I mean, after you get done with all your C8 modifications,
my car,
you're going to have to sit there and sell it yourself.
I have no idea how I'm going to sell my car. With everything I'm going to do to it is like, well, I don't know how's it going to do it. So I had Zach text in, not our Zach, somebody who signed up for podcast with my business number. He says, hey, question for you. Will your podcast ever launch an Apple Podcast at all? Because I know you have an iPhone. I was just curious. My name is Zach. So I keep everybody in my phone. So I got you my phone, Zach. But it should be. It takes anywhere from 30 minutes to 3 weeks to get approved on Apple. I tried to go back in there yesterday and get it approved again. And it said, hey, you can't do it again. We've already got your submission. So they've got it. But somebody physically listens to your podcast apparently to do it. And when I did it, I didn't have any podcasts up. And now I have 2 up. So hopefully it's done pretty quick.
Yes, that would be really good. Jeez.
Ricky Adams says I got charged for a window etching fee. Window etching is a scam. It's so a scam. Every dealer will tell you out there it pays you $5,000 if your car ever gets stolen. It's what insurance is for,
Hey, somebody wants to buy a shirt with my signature on it. What signature should I?
We can do a Mrs. Chevy Dude shirt.
Hey, I want a Mrs. Chevy Dude shirt, and you refuse to do it for me.
I know. I need to do it.
But I just want to know, what do you want me to write?
Yeah.
I'll write anything you want.
We'll get some Mrs. Chevy Dude merch. I'm not into the merch game. I don't get it. I need to hire a designer too. Like I was talking to a girl from UK. She is over in Lexington,
Okay, so
I said
University of Kentucky,
yeah.
not
so
United Kingdom.
And she's interested in working with me. She reached out to me the other day, and I'm like, yeah. And she's a car girl, right? So I'm like, yes, even better that you're a car girl. And so I'm like, sweet, you know. And she's a graphic designer, and I'm like, let's do it. So we're gonna meet up sometime, and maybe I can come up with some ideas, because I don't have merch because I just can't come up with ideas. This is my best idea right here. So, and I want to make something that people want to wear, and I want to, you know, do some things down the road that, you know, people are like, yeah, I want to buy that. I want to wear it. It'd be cool.
Okay. Somebody just text in, are there more options for the C8 that aren't on Chevy.com?
I am not on Chevy.com much, so I don't know that answer for sure, but I'll say this, that there shouldn't be. There's probably too many options on Chevy.com than what you can't get. I think they took off the ground effects, but yeah, I know the exposed carbon fiber ground effects were taken off for a little bit, but they were not on constraint last week. I should have done a video on that you could order carbon fiber ground effects, but
I thought those weren't available at all this year.
They weren't on constraint. The constraint list had nothing on it last week.
But are they in the ordering system?
Yeah. Yes.
They're still in the ordering system,
yeah,
even though they pretty much came out and said, we're not doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yeah, it's really interesting. And this is what makes it difficult to report things and whatnot, and why sometimes I don't report things, because I don't want to be looking like I don't know what I'm doing, and it's difficult. But no, I think everything's on Chevy.com. You know, if worst case scenario, you can go to every Chevy dealer's website or go to GM Accessories and see the accessories on there.
Okay, not a C8 question, but a Ford question.
Okay.
Thoughts on Ford dealers charging markup on the 2020
yeah, I already knew what that was.
GT500s. Yep. This particular question says $80,000.
Yeah,
I mean, is anybody really marking up that high?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Holy.
Oh yeah. Oh, I've seen C7, I've seen C8s like $50,000 markups. Oh yeah, it's crazy. Some people pay it. So if somebody's willing to pay it, then they'll do it. You know, the worst that'll happen is they say no. Right? I'm going to go somewhere else. I think it's a bad business choice to do it because, once it gets out that you're charging over MSRP, then why go to that dealership ever? That's why I got 300 orders for C8s, because I'm out there saying I'm not charging over MSRP. I don't have anything goofy. I'm doing it right. Plain and simple. It's real easy.
Okay. Somebody asked, and this question was asked earlier, lifetime warranties. What do you think about those?
Oh man,
how do they do it?
That's a tough question, because I've been thinking. So lifetime warranties. This has been a topic on my head for probably 2 years that I want to do a video on this, because dealers think that people come in and buy a car because they offer a lifetime warranty. Typically speaking, lifetime warranties are limited to extremely rare occasions of catastrophic failure. Did you hear me? Catastrophic failure. Your engine blowing up, basically. So what's the likelihood of that happening? The risk is extremely low. So on there, it's a stated coverage warranty, and if it's not listed, it's not covered. And that's very, very few things. So you just got to read it. So I've heard of it, but I've never seen a lifetime bumper to bumper warranty. I can't imagine that could be cheap in any way, shape, or form, or valuable and profitable for the company writing the warranty. But yeah, I'm not a fan of them. I think it just opens up for possible negative effects. But the likelihood of making a claim on it is very, very little.
And Andrew asked, I have a 3000 build status on my C8. When do I get my VIN?
You get your VIN at 3400 status. So they did away with VINs. I know a lot of people out there saying I'm the reason that you don't get VINs, and that's not the truth. I've seen that a lot. I don't know how that rumor started. I don't know how that BS stuff started.
Probably because you were offering to get people
their
VINs, and so everybody just assumes because they're gone.
Yeah.
that it's your fault.
They're not gone though. That's the thing. They're not gone. I can still get your VIN. So they just have not. They just have not done production weeks because GM internally is moving all these production weeks all over the place because of plant status and stuff like that. So, so the VIN you get at 3,400 status, which is about a week or so before your car's built.
And do you have any recommended companies for accessories for the C8 aftermarket?
No, I don't know of any. The only thing I know of is wheels, which is MRR wheels. I'm going to be doing a video on that. They're going to be giving some free wheels away. I'm going to be doing a video on how you can get those free wheels. I need to get that video out because if this C8 comes tomorrow, like we're thinking, I'm going to be doing nonstop C8 stuff. But MRR wheels is doing some stuff for wheels right now. They're going to do chrome wheels. They got black wheels. They got silver wheels. I've got 4. It's a really weird number. I have 7 of their wheels at the dealership right now. 7. I have 7. Why somebody got 7 wheels?
7?
Because
7 sets or
no, 7 individual wheels.
I mean, 4 is ours,
right? And then I have 3 test wheels for them. So when the C8 gets here, I'm gonna test them out.
Okay. Yeah. I was like, why are we having an odd number?
I know, but I've been sending them measurements and testing tire pressure monitors and everything for them since I've got my C8 wheels there that I got tire pressure monitors that they fit up in there perfect. So they're doing a really good job making sure the wheels are strong and they're gonna be ready for C8 people.
And with the C8 being so big, over the next few years, do you expect older models to drop or go up in price?
I don't think we're going to see a huge difference. So even if you look at C6, where 2013 was the last year of C6, C6 still holds its value. C5 still holds its value. So I don't think we're going to see a huge drop in value on the C7, and we're probably this month going to see C7 go up in value just because we're coming back into the spring. But I don't think we're going to see a huge drop in C7 values at all.
Gotta love this one. Somebody must not have seen your video. Does the optional wheels come with the tires?
Oh, he's just joking. So I'll tell you this. I don't clickbait videos. I do make videos clickable, but I don't clickbait. I don't say something's, everybody wants to call something clickbait, but they don't understand the word clickbait or what it is. Clickbait is when you make something that someone wants to click, but the story's not true, right? So I want to make my stuff clickable because that's how my business is ran. But I'm not going to lie or I'm not going to deceive anybody on anything. So my wheels, I built my car wrong. That's kind of a 50-50 type clickbait, I would say, because I assumed for that price that I was not going to get tires. I assumed that. We talked about that. But then in my head, I'm like, well, wait a second. For $29.95, you get Tahoe full set. So I'm thinking this is $400 cheaper. And I'm like, what's going on here? And nobody can answer the question for sure, which is why I got these wheels, because I wanted to make sure. I wanted to be able to report to people. Well, now I think that you can buy a full set of wheels from the accessory department. So I don't know. It's confusing.
Yeah. And Matt Beaver is on here trying to poke the bear.
Hey, buddy. What's he trying to poke the bear on?
He says, what YouTuber is getting a C8 first?
Oh, I don't know. Don't know.
It's poking the little bear there.
I have to go back to one thing I've learned. I'm not a lawyer, but I do know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th. I have no idea. Plead the 5th. I plead the 5th. But you know what? But here's the thing: is somebody put a video out. Which YouTuber's getting their car first, and they put it as a competition, right? And Matt and I've talked about this. I'm not in competition with anybody. I'm having fun in life. I wanna do things fun. And I'm glad I got to meet Matt back in December. But I'm not competing with anybody. I'm competing with myself. And I just want to create content. I want to have fun with it. And if somebody gets their car before somebody else, congratulations. Like, I'm hoping that my content is not like what other people's contents are. I've got 70 videos right now wrote down of what I want to do with the C8. And I'm hoping that majority of them are not like what other people are doing. I want to have my own creative content. I don't want to copy what other people are doing. I know a couple of them are going to be similar to what other people are going to do. But there's a purpose behind what like my second video is going to be. There's a purpose behind my second video of why I'm going to do that. And I know other YouTubers are going to do this video as well, but I haven't talked to a YouTuber. I haven't talked strategy with anybody because I just want to do my own thing. I want to have fun. But never am I in competition with another dealership, another YouTuber. And really the YouTuber world, they're more friendly. They're more friendly than dealerships. They want to help each other out, which was a shock when I went to my first YouTube conference 2 years ago. I was really shocked by that. And I was really grateful too. It was like, oh wow, these people are actually trying to help me and push me in. It's like, if I put a thumbnail in one of our groups, I'm like, hey, what do you guys think about this thumbnail? And all of a sudden they just start like, no, I don't like this. You need to do this. You need to do this. I'm like, sweet, thanks. And these are people with 2 and 3 million subscribers, 10 million subscribers. One of them's got, and Mr. Beast, you know, he told me my thumbnail sucked. Plain and simple, which I love, right? Jimmy did. And he's like, yeah, these aren't very clickable. And I've been working on it ever since October, and working with him and working with this and doing this. And some people have been making comments like, what? I've never heard of this comment, which makes me feel really old. Soy face. I had to Google it. But it's basically all my stupid, stuff like that. I guess it's a soy face. And people are like, why are you doing these stupid face? Yeah, I know what duck face is.
Start doing duck face.
But it's kind of funny doing that. So, no, I'm just trying to make more things more clickable, more fun. That's all I care about.
Yeah. Well, I like this comment. Why do you finance people that have 10K negative equity in cars? Don't you feel bad for putting them in more of a debt?
Here, I can answer that dead on. So early on in my career, I did, but now I don't. And the reason I don't, because if I don't do it, somebody else is going to do it. And I'm not doing it to them. They're doing it to themselves. Plain and simple. I don't have feelings. I don't have emotions when I'm selling cars. I care about people and I want to help people. And I definitely do put them in the right direction. But if they don't want to listen to me, I can't force them to do it.
Well, the thing is, when somebody wants to buy a car, they want to buy a car.
Yeah.
And if 10 grand negative equity isn't stopping them, then, what are you going to do about it?
Yeah. So
they're going to buy it.
Yeah. The big thing too now is, I don't think the terminology is being used really well in the automotive sector, but people are buying cars just like they're buying subscriptions, just like they're buying Hulu, Netflix, Amazon, whatever the case may be. They don't care how much money their car is. All they care about is one thing, and that's the payment. They don't care how much negative equity. They don't care about anything. They walk in, I want a $550 payment. I want a $700 payment. I can't be over $1,000, whatever the case may be. And you're looking at $1,000 on a Chevy Traverse, and you're like, you want to pay $1,000? You're crazy, because they've got the urge to buy a car. And if I don't do it, somebody else will. And for 20 years, our livelihood's been me selling cars. So I've got to do it. It's kind of a harsh statement. It's kind of tough to say, but it's the reality. And you guys know me. I'm not beating around the bush. I'm just telling you the way it is.
Okay. Ricky Adams said, how bad does mileage depreciate your vehicle when you go to trade it in? I have 35,000 miles on my 18 Yukon.
3 things. Wait, how many miles?
35,000 on my 18 Yukon.
Okay. 3 things depreciate your car: age, mileage, and condition. So that should answer your question, that the more mileage you have on it, the more likelihood it's going to depreciate. But the good news is you're in a vehicle that is very highly sought after, and that many people do want. So an 18 car with 30,000 miles is actually pretty average for those types of cars. I buy those cars from Enterprise all the time, and I would love to buy one from a consumer rather than buy them from Enterprise. Sorry, I'm getting, I gotta get this podcast over to my editor so I can get it edited.
Oh, so now you're just worried about that. I see how you are.
Well, it's gotta be up at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Okay. Somebody asked, would you consider buying a 2021 SUV an asset? is any car going to be an asset?
You said it perfect, baby. That's dead on. No, there's no car's an asset. Rare occasions, right? And we're not talking about the rare occasions because everything out there you can be proven wrong on. But no, a car's not an asset. It's an appreciating asset is what it is. So nope. Buy 20, buy 21. Doesn't matter. What else you got? We've been on for 2 hours and 7 minutes. We probably need to hop off.
Probably. You haven't had dinner yet.
9 o'clock.
It says Adam Jensen says, you said last month that we would get new info on the C8 timeline and allocations. Do you have a guess on when that info is coming?
I'm told March 15th. So we'll see. So I'm watching it, talking to people. Again, I kind of walk a fine line with talking to people and giving information out. But yeah, I'm hearing March 15th.
And somebody said, what's the best way to sell a car website wise? So
if you're doing it on private, individual, you can log on to all these dealerships websites that are the websites that dealerships use, cars.com, Car Guru, Auto Trader. You can sell your car on there. I sold Zach's car before he went in the military. I listed it on there under myself and sold it that way. But yeah, you can do it, but you just got to be aware. You just got to be aware that you're competing with dealers on there, so you got to price it right. Because if you come up and say that it's a bad value or overpriced, nobody's going to call you.
Okay. Now this is a good comment and, something to really think about. 1,600 vets at the factory parking lot. Good thing the tornado did not hit the parking lot last night.
I was watching all night last night.
Why not just ship them?
Yeah.
So, there's all those cars sitting there that GM is not making money on currently because they have not invoiced or, sent to dealerships these cars to be paid for. So, why not just ship these cars and start getting some money?
Yeah, here's the reason why. They want to make sure they have a great product out because the entire world is watching this car. And the minor hiccups, the minor blips are going to create havoc. So no, I agree. I agree with that. And I've told people from day one, there's going to be a 6-week quality hold. It looks like it's about 4.5. So, if it does come true that they ship tomorrow, but, and I think they were really I think they did want to ship on Friday, but they ran into problems. So they're doing these now. The information's all out that they're, doing these, computer upgrades and stuff like that, which is why all the OnStar systems got deleted out. Everybody's blaming me on that too, but the OnStar system all got deleted out because they all upgraded the systems that the OnStar's on, so it just deleted everything. So it typically wouldn't happen with anything when you own it, or if it does, you just re-enroll it. But I'm not going to re-enroll my car. I'm skating the line on that, so we're not going to stir the pot.
Yeah. Dominic's asked if you have a 2020 C8 allocation and it gets cut, would you be in front of the line for the 2021 at your dealership? With
me, yes, because everybody gets their cars in the order that they put their deposit down. So if you put your deposit down on August 15th and all my orders were August 14th and prior, then you'd be number one on my 2021 list. So what I tell all my clients with their cars, the thing you do is you put the $1,000 deposit down, and that reserves your position in line. When I call you or text you, I typically text. When I text you or call you and say, hey, listen, we can put your order in, you're going to owe me another $4,000. You got about four options, I think. You can say yes, not a problem. He said, I said, I'm watching my super chat just come up here. So you can put your order in. You can say, hey, Mike, I need this a little bit more time. I want to wait, which you can do that. At that point, I tell people, no problem. You call me when you're ready. I'm not going to follow up with you over and over and over again. You call me. As soon as you tell me that you're ready to go, you'll be in line. You'll be next. You can say, hey, I want to hire engine car like a Z06 or a Zora or whatever they're going to call it, or give me my money back. Those are your four options. And I had a guy today. It's like, Mike, I want my money back. Okay, no problem. Here you go.
And talking about deposits, there was the question, does the $1,000 deposit for the C8 stay with the dealership or get sent to GM?
So no, that goes towards the purchase price of your car. So funny stuff. 69J said Ford sucked. Did you know that? Well, it's true.
Yeah.
Love it.
No comment.
I'm not a Ford guy. Ford makes great products, right?
But that's a whole nother rant.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I'm not a Ford guy. I'm a Chevy dude.
Why is there no Canadian allocations for the C8 on U.S. allocations? I'm not sure.
Canada got their allocations, but yeah, I mean, I wouldn't know what Canada gets, and vice versa. They don't know what I get, just because it's it's two different countries, and GM handles stuff up there than they do down here. What is better? Funny stuff. Bill, hey Bill, I was the first person to send you a deposit. How did I get with 1738? So, Bill, customer of mine, I said it just all depends on how GM picks him up. So, it's goofy. It's really, really goofy, So like I've got customers that was way past there, and all of a sudden their car's being built. Like I had a customer call me and said, "Hey, my car's being built next week." I'm like, "What?" And I didn't look in there for his car. I'm like, "What? How's no way? How's that possible?" Because I already told him his build date, right? So I wasn't looking at his build date because I had it down on my spreadsheet as a reminder to look at this week for my standard operating procedure. And he calls me and said, "Yeah, the museum said I can, that I've got to do this, that, whatever." I'm like, how did you move up 6 weeks in production? He moved up 6 weeks in production. That's crazy. And that's what's happening behind the scenes and why they're doing away with all these production numbers. And I don't have any control over that. So that's kind of what with why Bill got maybe 1,700 is because the way the car was built, that they sequenced it in to that number. It's once it goes to 2,000 status, I'm out of control. This is also another reason that people are paying the $5,000 to select their VIN. Yeah, not too many people did. No. Idiots did, like myself. But, Well, I wasn't going to call you out like that, but okay. But I'm just saying that some people who wanted the lower numbers chose to pay the extra money because they found the value in that. But, again, it just happens the way GM does things. Funny stuff said, what is better, towing truck, a diesel or gas? I mean, diesel's by far the best, but gas is pretty impressive. I can't say anything negative about gas now. Gas has completely changed from 15 years ago. Someone just wrote in 2021 price increase. That's been on here several times. I don't think there's going to be a huge price increase. I really don't. No information has been given to me. But I think it's too early to jump the gun on anything 2021 when the 2020s just started production and have not reached a dealership yet. We've got less than 60 days before we're done submitting. I understand that, but so it's coming up quick. It's coming up real quick. It's just one of those things. It seems like things keep getting delayed and delayed. So, what's to say GM doesn't delay again? Yeah. Some of that stuff. Yeah. So, just kind of early to jump the gun on it. Yeah. GM does have, Rhonda asked it, can you pay for a VIP program? VIP program is not really something you pay for. You pay $5,000 for the VIN, and, they do this VIP thing that's, I don't understand it. They choose, okay, well, this person's a VIP. So there is some type of, I know with the C7s, you could go in and build your engine. Yeah, that was with the Z06, right? Do, some things like that seemed more like VIP, but. PJ said he got his Chevy Dude shirt, good quality. These are great shirts. I only want the best stuff. So I gotta send out a shirt to my member for six. I've got it in my to-do box and I haven't been able to get it out yet. But when you're a member of the channel for 6 months, you get a free shirt or free whatever you want. If you want a hat, I like the quality of the men's shirts, but I'm not sure I'm liking the female. Oh, really? Yeah, a little too thin, and they roll easily on the ends. So a woman's just not gonna like. Well, I got you that tri-blend shirt. So yeah. So I went really expensive on that shirt. So that was kind of a test. So that's good to know. That's good to know.
It's just one of those things, you know, we don't want our hems rolling up or the sleeves rolling or, you know, anything like that.
Yeah.
And
I think we got time for one more question, and I think we're going to end it because you said earlier. Now you said that I haven't ate yet.
Now you're getting hungry.
Yeah. I really appreciate everybody being here. It's so cool. 6,500 people were on this live stream tonight. It's so awesome. I can't wait to do this every week and have like 65,000 people watching. That's what I want. That's my goal, is to sit there.
I don't know if I can handle that.
Oh,
can you imagine?
We're going to have to come up with something different on texting questions in.
Well,
I mean, imagine
it'll definitely have to be only texting questions.
Well, what'll happen is what we'll do is we'll have to move to members only and go that way. It's really crazy. Like, I watch these gamers a lot on how they do things, and so I just kind of watch them just to see how they do things, because they a lot of times they do get like 100,000 people watching them at one time, which is absolutely insane. Laserbeam's one of my favorites. Muselk's one of my favorites. Mr. Fresh Asian's one of my favorites. They all play Fortnite, and they're all in Australia.
Imagine that.
And but I like watching them because they're funny. But then when they do live stream, they get 65,000 people in their live stream, and I'm like, wow, that's amazing. That's what I want to do.
So I got the best last question.
All right.
What's she cooking for dinner?
I don't know. What are you cooking for dinner?
You get a salad because you're on a diet.
Oh, jeez.
No, I'm serious. You're getting a salad tonight.
Oh, yeah. Carl, oops, I hit the wrong button there. Carl did say Wild Hammer, Matt, I think his name is, really good guy. Wild Hammer does have all the OEM parts. So but work with local dealers too, because all the local dealers can sell these parts for what any online distributor does, and you don't have shipping either. So just get the best thing. Wild Hammer's an awesome place though. I love Wild Hammer. All right. Was that really the last question? What's for dinner?
Well, I just thought it was a funny question.
That was a question you answered. Typically the questions are for me to answer.
No, I mean, they can ask me questions too.
Oh, is that okay? Okay, I didn't know that was the rules.
It's not all about you.
Let me write this down. She answers questions. Okay, all right. I didn't know.
Love My Country says my man deserves a steak.
That's right.
Well, my man does not get a steak unless I get a steak, and we have to travel 4 hours north to get a good steak.
Yeah.
For me to cook.
Yeah.
Or have my mom bring some steak.
Yeah. I like that. Man does deserve a steak. So Doug L, bye buddy. Thanks for being here. So I guess, come on, we got to get one more question to end this.
Anybody have one more good question?
Let me see. Let me run through here. Why is my mic?
There's 300. Because you're not putting your mouth up against the mic.
Oh.
Mike.
It's not even Wednesday.
Hump day.
That's all right.
Everybody's going on about your salad. I do have a banana for him too. Yeah, keep your mouth covered there.
All right.
Okay, I guess we're all done.
Our car while I am in Indiana, traveling back and forth to Illinois to see my grandson. Yeah, I mean, they're out there. Look on the website. Z06 News, no news for Z06. Mrs. Yeah, no Z06 News. Oh my God.
My biggest pet peeve about him, that he talks too much.
I do. I know I do.
Museum delivery. I did see somebody ask earlier when they're starting museum delivery. And that question just came up again.
So, yeah.
Somebody's asking, what is museum delivery? So let's talk about it.
Yeah, so they'll start museum delivery as soon as they start shipping them. And then the museum will PDI the cars and they'll contact the owners for delivery. So these first ones are going to be really chaotic, right? Because we don't know when they're shipping and stuff like that. Down the road, the museum will have better ideas. So what is museum delivery? Museum delivery is probably one of the most fantastic things you can do. There's like 3 different things that you can do. Actually, 2 different things you can do with the museum delivery. You can do their photo book for like $700 and you get pictures of your car being built. And then when you do the museum tour or when you do the museum delivery part, you get to sit down with your car and just it's really dedicated service to go over the car and all of that stuff. So with that being said, you get like primo top of the notch service when you get your car delivered. But most importantly, it's really to support the museum because they are a nonprofit organization and they're preserving the Corvette heritage and the Corvette whatnot. Funny stuff, 69. Thanks, buddy. But that's the biggest thing that you're doing is supporting the museum. But when you do the museum delivery, providing that the plant is open, you get a personalized, dedicated tour. You don't go in and get a quick tour. You get it by yourself. And August 15th is when I'm hearing.
I was going to say, they had not started plant tours yet.
April 15th is when we plan on seeing, I think, the plant reopen for public tours. So is there a limit to how many cars you can trade in? And what is the most you ever took in on trade from one person? Not really. It gets complicated after 2 trades, but I think the most I've ever done is 3. I don't remember if I've ever done more than 3. Can't remember that. I think 2 is common. People trading in 2 cars happens a lot, but when it gets 3, basically you can't put the third in the computer system and you have to act like you're buying the car. You know, it's not a trade-in. So it's just goofy, but I think we're going to end it there, guys. I really appreciate it. You guys are so awesome.
Almost 2.5 hours.
I love it. You know, if this is what we need to do every Tuesday night at 7:00, we'll do it. So the podcast is going to be an hour to hour and 15. But we'll be on before we start doing the podcast audio portion, and we'll be doing afterwards when we're done recording that. So that way we can just interact with everybody and have fun and be personable and, you know, talk about whatever we want to talk about. And then if we get I spent a lot of money on this studio. The studio is awesome. I love this. I'm still not even done yet. So if you look down here, there's no baseboards down here. Just been busy that I haven't got the baseboards. I don't have the cat's second hole put over here. So when I get that done, I'll show you guys everything done that I've done in here. This up here, this is my customer Steven made this for me, and I'm having trouble getting lights. It's got my logo on it, which you can't see. But when you look at that, see, now you can see that. See, my logo is on the back there. It's really, really, really awesome. So I want to get that lit up to put up there. So because and I appreciate Steven doing it from New York. But I'll be able to get that lit up. That's why I've got all these lights down here now, because I bought all these lights to light this up and it didn't work. I know there's some lights that you can get for this right here, but I think the issue is this glass is tinted and it's being impossible to work with. So we'll figure it out. Thinking about putting maybe a light up there and shining down on it, because as I was just showing you with just my flashlight, you know, when I got my flashlight up there, you can kind of see it. So I don't know. It's if you guys got any ideas, inbox me. Thanks. So, but guys, from Mrs. Chevy Dude and me, we appreciate you guys being here. So thank you so much.
Oh,
yeah,
I am.
Yeah, I got the 3 on. So we really appreciate it. And we'll be back for sure next Tuesday, maybe in between there as well.
We'll see.
Yep. Thanks, guys. Have a great day and drive safely.